The discomfort zone comfort is the quiet killer of potential. Most people spend their entire lives designing a life that avoids pain. Softer chairs, easier routes, shorter workouts, smaller goals. But here's the shocking truth. Every ounce of growth you've ever experienced happened in a moment you wanted to quit. Your body doesn't build muscle from rest. It builds it from tearing fibers apart under stress. Your mind works the same way. When you deliberately choose the harder path, the cold shower, the extra mile, the conversation you're avoiding, you're not punishing yourself. You're forging a version of you that doesn't break under pressure. Relentless self-discipline is not born in motivation seminars or uncomfortable mornings. It's born in the 5 a.m. darkness when no one is watching and every cell in your body is screaming to stop. The discomfort zone is where weak minds die and strong ones are created. Most people will read this and nod, then go back to their comfortable routines tomorrow. That's the difference between those who talk about change and those who become it. If you want a life you're proud of, you have to be willing to feel uncomfortable on purpose every single day until discomfort stops being the enemy and starts being your training ground. That shift from avoiding pain to seeking it is where relentless discipline actually begins. Mental callousing, your mind has skin too, invisible skin. And right now, for most people, it's soft, thin, and blisters at the first sign of friction. Every time you quit early, every time you give in to your excuses, you are literally training your brain to surrender faster next time. But here's what nobody tells you. Pain is not your enemy. Repetition is your medicine. Just like your palms toughen after gripping a rope over and over, your mind toughens after choosing hard over easy again and again. This is called mental callousing. Deliberately exposing yourself to friction so the next wall you hit doesn't stop you. It barely slows you down. Think about it. The successful person and the failure often face identical circumstances. The difference is what happens in the 6 inches in front of their face, their mind. One has calloused it through years of controlled suffering. The other has kept it soft by choosing comfort every time it mattered. You build mental calluses the same way you build physical ones, not in one heroic day, but in thousands of small moments where you choose to stay when everything in you wants to leave. That workout you don't want to finish, that goal you want to abandon, push through it anyway. Not because it's easy, but because that exact moment is where your mind toughens. Callous it enough times, and pain stops being a stop sign. It becomes information you simply walk through. The 40% rule, when your body screams, "I'm done," when your lungs are burning and your legs are shaking and every fiber of your being says, "Stop," you have only tapped into 40% of your actual capacity. That's not motivation talk. That's a documented truth about human physiology. Your brain, as a survival mechanism, shuts you down at 40% to protect you from a limit that doesn't actually exist yet. The shocking part? Almost everyone quits exactly there, at the first alarm, believing it's their true max. But your real ceiling is hiding behind pain, behind fear, behind the voice telling you it's over. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not more talented. They are simply more willing to keep going after the quitting point most humans stop at. This isn't about being reckless with your safety. It's about recognizing that the mind gives up long before the body actually has to. Next time you want to stop, during a workout, a difficult project, a hard conversation, ask yourself, is this real failure? Or is this my brain's early warning system trying to protect me from discomfort, not danger? Push 10 more minutes, 10 more reps, 10 more sentences. That's where the other 60% of you is hiding, waiting to be discovered. Most people will die having never met that version of themselves. Don't be most people. Radical accountability. Nothing changes until you stop blaming your circumstances and start owning your choices completely, uncomfortably, without excuses. This is the most shocking pill anyone will ever ask you to swallow. Your bad childhood, your unfair boss, your lack of resources, your bad luck. None of it is why you're stuck. You are stuck because somewhere along the way, you decided it was easier to explain your failures than to fix them. Radical accountability means looking in the mirror and asking, what did I do to create this result? even when the honest answer is painful. This isn't about ignoring real hardship. It's about refusing to let hardship become your identity or your permanent excuse. The moment you take full ownership of your life, your habits, your discipline, your effort, your reactions, you take back the only thing that was ever truly in your control. Blame feels good for 5 minutes and destroys you for years. Accountability feels brutal for 5 minutes and frees you for a lifetime. People who build relentless discipline share one trait. They stopped waiting for the world to be fair and started training themselves to be strong regardless. Stop auditing your excuses and start auditing your effort. That single shift, from blaming to owning, is often the exact moment someone's entire life direction changes forever. The mirror confrontation. Most people avoid mirrors emotionally. They'll check their hair, but they won't check their character. Real transformation demands a brutal, daily confrontation with yourself, standing in front of your own reflection and asking hard questions. Did I do what I said I would do today? Am I becoming who I claimed I wanted to be, or am I lying to myself again? This practice sounds simple, but it is one of the most shocking forms of self-discipline because it removes every hiding place. You can lie to your friends, your followers, even your family. But the mirror only reflects the truth. People who build unbreakable discipline use this confrontation as a non-negotiable ritual, not to punish themselves, but to stay brutally honest about the gap between their goals and their actions. It's uncomfortable because growth is uncomfortable. Most people can't sustain change because they never face themselves honestly enough to know what actually needs to change. Start small. Every night, ask yourself one honest question and answer it without excuses. Did you show up today, or did you perform the idea of showing up? This single habit, repeated relentlessly, rewires your relationship with yourself, from avoidance to accountability, from comfortable lies to uncomfortable truth. And uncomfortable truth, repeated daily, is the foundation every disciplined life is quietly built on. Suffering as a teacher. Here is the most shocking truth of all. Suffering is not something to avoid. It's something to extract wisdom from. Every person who has built extraordinary discipline has one thing in common. They didn't run from pain, they interrogated it. They asked, what is this moment trying to teach me? Instead of, how do I escape this feeling? Pain, loss, failure, exhaustion, these are not punishments. They are instructors, and most people drop out of the classroom before the lesson is complete. When you reframe suffering as data instead of disaster, something shifts. The setback that used to destroy your motivation becomes fuel for your next move. The rejection that used to end your dream becomes the exact information you needed to improve. This isn't about glorifying pain for its own sake. It's about refusing to waste it. Every scar, every failure, every low point contains a lesson paid for in full. Walking away without learning, it means you suffered for nothing. Relentless self-discipline isn't the absence of suffering, it's the refusal to let suffering be meaningless. The next time life knocks you down, don't just get back up. Get back up smarter, sharper, and more prepared than before. That is how ordinary people build extraordinary resilience. Not by avoiding the storm, but by learning to read it. What if everything you believe about your limits is a lie your own mind told you to keep you safe and small? What if the version of you that you dream about, disciplined, unstoppable, feared by your own excuses, is sitting right now behind a wall of comfort you built yourself, one soft decision at a time? Most people will never meet that version of themselves, not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because the moment it got hard, they listened to the voice that said stop, and they never questioned whether that voice was telling the truth. Let me tell you something nobody wants to hear. Your alarm going off at 5 a.m. is not your enemy. Your enemy is the hand that hits snooze while whispering just this once. Because it's never just once. It's a pattern. And patterns build identities. You are not who you say you want to be. You are what you repeatedly do when it's uncomfortable and no one is clapping for you. Comfort is a slow poison. It doesn't kill you in one dose. It kills you in inches, in missed mornings, in workouts cut short, in goals quietly abandoned and replaced with excuses dressed up as reasons. And one day you wake up and wonder why your life looks nothing like the one you imagined. It's because you kept choosing the version of today that felt good over the version of your future that mattered. Here's the truth about pain, real pain, physical pain, mental pain. When your body screams to stop, you have barely touched your actual capacity. That wall you hit is not your limit. It's your mind's early warning system, designed to protect you from a threshold that isn't real. Push past it once, and you'll never fully believe your own excuses again. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop waiting for the world to hand you fairness it was never going to give you. The second you take full, brutal ownership of your choices, you take back the only power you ever actually had. Not your parents' power. Not your boss's power. Yours. Go stand in front of a mirror tonight and ask yourself one honest question. Did I show up today? Or did I just perform the idea of showing up? That question will feel like a blade. Let it cut. Growth has never once come from comfortable questions. And when suffering finds you, because it will, stop asking how to escape it and start asking what it's trying to teach you. Every scar you carry is tuition already paid. Walking away without the lesson means you suffered for absolutely nothing. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable, seasonal, and weak. Discipline is a decision you make once and then defend every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like defending it. Especially when it's raining. Especially when your body aches. Especially when nobody is watching and no one will ever know if you quit. That's the whole secret. There is no secret. There is only the next hard choice, and the one after that, and the one after that. Stacked relentlessly, day after day, until discomfort stops being something you survive and becomes something you seek. Because you finally understand it's the only place real strength has ever been built. The life you want is not hiding behind luck, talent, or timing. It's hiding behind the version of you that refuses to stop when it gets hard. Every principle here, embracing discomfort, callousing your mind, pushing past the first wall, owning your choices completely, confronting yourself honestly, and turning suffering into fuel, is not complicated. It's simple. It's just not easy. And that's exactly why so few people ever build it. Relentless self-discipline isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a decision you make daily, repeated, until it becomes who you are. Nobody is coming to save you from your comfort zone. You have to walk out of it yourself, one uncomfortable choice at a time, starting today. Not Monday, not tomorrow, today. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled entirely with moments like this one. Moments where you choose hard over easy. Choose it. Then choose it again tomorrow. I wish you nothing but strength, clarity, and the discipline to become the version of yourself you've always known was possible. Good luck. And thank you for staying until the very end. That alone says something about you. What if I told you that the pain you're running from right now is the exact thing standing between you and the life you say you want? What if your comfort zone isn't safe at all? It's a slow, quiet trap that's been stealing your potential one easy decision at a time. Right now, somewhere, there's a version of you who wakes up before the alarm, who finishes what they start, who doesn't flinch when things get hard. And that version is real. They exist, but they're buried under every excuse you've ever accepted from yourself. You think you've hit your limit? You haven't even come close. Your mind shuts you down at a fraction of your true capacity. Not because you're weak, but because quitting feels safer than finding out how strong you actually are. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you exactly how ordinary people build unbreakable discipline. Not through motivation, not through luck, but through a decision most people are too comfortable to make. So ask yourself right now, before you scroll past this, are you going to keep protecting your comfort? Or are you finally ready to meet the version of yourself you've been avoiding? Stay with me. This is where it starts.
Recession-proof income streams. When markets crash, people who depend on a single paycheck panic first. Retirement planning forces you to build multiple income streams: dividends, rental income, bonds, side businesses, long before the recession hits. This means when one stream dries up, others keep flowing. Most people think income means a job, but a job is the most fragile income stream during a downturn because companies cut staff first. A well-structured retirement plan already assumes the job will disappear one day, so it builds systems that don't need you to show up every morning to survive. That's the real shock. The average person only discovers this the hard way during layoffs, while the retiree already tested and secured it years earlier. This is why